Hi, I'm Ryan Blair, New York Times bestselling author and serial entrepreneur. I've had $2 billion in sales and $1 billion in exits, and today I'm going to share with you some information that's going to help you become more successful as an entrepreneur. I hope you enjoy. The most important indicator of a business is not how much money, it's who it's attracting. I tend to love businesses that are missionary driven, not mercenary driven. So I look at who's attracted, and then I look at the level of performance of those people. You can have good people that are low performing, and that doesn't create a great business. You have to have great people that are high performing to create a great business. And every business is very similar. There's many patterns that emerge across multiple businesses. And having helped over a couple thousand businesses scale, I see the same patterns. It all comes down to people, process, and structure across all of these businesses. There's fine tuning that has to be done. And think of a business as a set of pistons in an engine. You got to get all of them firing together in order for that engine to run effectively. And so each department is a piston that needs to be fired, and all of the pistons firing together are what makes a great business. What do I think most leaders get wrong? There's a number of skills that it takes to be effective as a leader, and there's new skill levels to be obtained on everything. You are never done obtaining skill. Like, you may be good at speaking, but in a new season of life, at a new age, you got to learn new skills. And so you're never done acquiring the skills. What a lot of leaders that I see fail to do is they fail to realize that you got to constantly acquire skills and constantly force yourself to grow. And you have to optimize your living, your environment, your mind, your body, your soul, your food, your diet. You have to optimize everything to accelerate your growth, to acquire the skills necessary for you to unlock your untapped potential and fulfill your purpose. And that's a big mission. You're a race car that needs to be constantly maintained and constantly tuned in order for you to perform at your highest level. Leaders don't understand how important their role is in society and how important it is for them to have coaches, not just to have a coach, to have a team of coaches. I mean, if you're a leader and you plan to make a big impact, then you should have a team of coaches supporting you to do just that. But a lot of times leaders, they underinvest in themselves, they get out of shape, they fall out of tune, and then they wonder why they're ineffective. It's simple. Look at the system you've built around you as the leader. Look at how you're taking care of yourself. Look at how you're feeding yourself mentally, spiritually, physically, and then ask yourself, am I putting the attention into the vessel that I need to in order to perform at the capacity that I'm called to? And the answer is generally no. Most leaders, they're not doing it that way. Now, I have the privilege of working with some that are, and it's magic when you see people that are absolutely 100% committed to unlocking their potential and fulfilling their purpose. That's magic. I don't like these systems that get other people worshiping other people. If a person's playing a game, I look at their game, I might learn some best practices from it, and I apply it to mine. But I'm always playing my game. I'm not playing their game. You have to be very careful. Modern day gurus will try to hijack you and get you to play their game. Their game works great for them, but you got to discover your own game, your own practices, your own frameworks, your own philosophies and principles. Yes, you could take some of mine and take some of the others and apply them, but you got to build your own game. There's no one size fits all model for personal growth. It is 100% customized, and you are the one responsible for customizing your own journey. My personal brand, I invested a lot into it. I got Nothing to Lose to #1. I launched a documentary. I launched Rock Bottom to Rockstar, my second book. I did a lot of experimentation. I put over $1 million into my personal brand. That was the most important investment of my life because that still pays dividends to this day. There are people reading my books all around the world. I built a little bit of a following. And as a result of that, when I went to start AlterCall, I was able to leverage that personal brand. If it were not for the fact that I had a brand, it would have been a much harder start. But because I had a brand built, even though I had not maintained it whatsoever, and in fact, I degraded it in the 2 years that I took off, I still had enough of a personal brand to get started. And that was a key asset that I was able to start AlterCall with. I'm always trying to reverse engineer the simplest ways to help people grow. I consider myself like patient zero. I was a very thick-headed, very egotistical, very stubborn, obnoxious person. It was difficult for me to take advice, to receive mentorship from others. I hated feedback. I didn't like criticism. I feared rejection. All of these different challenges I faced with my growth. And so I tried to reverse engineer the simplest systems to accelerate my growth, and gamification was just one of them. It was like, if I could gamify this, if I could make this fun. But it turns out that the video game is actually the way life works. And Super Mario Brothers and many of the other ones are simulations. of what life is really like. And so we can learn a lot by understanding how the game of life is played and how it works. And that's why I created the Gamify Your Growth structure and framework. And that's why I give it away for free to people via PDF, is because I want people to play the game just like I play the game. But it's not for everyone. Not everyone thinks like I do. I get it. Some people are playing a different game. They don't want to play my game. That's on them. But for the people that want to achieve great things, want to build multi-billion-dollar companies, want to change the world, and they're crazy enough to think that they can, and they're crazy enough to take action on it. I think I've reverse engineered some practices and some frameworks and some strategies like Gamify Your Growth that they can utilize to accelerate their growth. And I want to work with those people. So I give out these resources for free because I'm hoping to see who actually engages with them, who gets results from them, and then I get to work with the people who do. And it's a privilege to be able to work with people that are on the same kind of mission that I am and want to make an impact in the world. Most people think everything is external. That's because the system that we live in and the world that we live in validates everything materially. And we don't realize that everything happening on the external is also happening on the internal. Most people just don't have that understanding yet. Once you get that understanding, then it flips upside down where everything is internal and then the external is a symptom of the internal. But that's hard to understand because we're trained in our society to think like victims. Politicians are telling us that our health is not our responsibility, it's someone else's. The medical system keeps us unhealthy. The way food is done in Western society keeps us unhealthy. Everything around us basically is designed to corrupt us to think externally, because the more external we are, the more that we consume, the more that we lust, the more that we covet and compare and compete, and that's good for the economic engines of Western society. It is not good for economic engines for us to believe that everything that we desire can happen within us. We are taught that everything that we want happens outside of us. And so that's why most people never have the opportunity to really look inward deeply. Do I believe you become the average of the 5 people you spend the most time with? Yeah, we rub off on each other. We definitely do. And I think that it's important to choose your friends wisely. There were times in my life when I didn't do that, and we all rubbed off on each other and we all lowered our level of consciousness together. And then there are times where I've chosen friends very wisely and we've raised our consciousness levels together. So I would recommend you choose your friends wisely. You can't choose your family, but you can choose your friends. Have I been in a position where I haven't led myself properly? Yes, every day, multiple times a day I'm in that position. There's no one that leads himself perfectly every single time. There's times where I'm called, something's calling me away from my purpose, and I have to check myself and say, the hell does that have to do with your purpose? Right? Like, why am I on YouTube watching, I don't know, videos of tigers hunting or whatever it is that I'm getting into? Why am I scrolling on Instagram as opposed to finishing the project that I'm working on? You have to non-stop check yourself and lead yourself in order to get to the highest level of performance you possibly can. As you grow in the work of spirituality and as you become more spiritually mature, your intentionality in life will grow as well. I hope you enjoyed this video. Do me a favor, like, subscribe, share, help boost this video. I want to get the word out about my work and I could use your help. Thank you so much and God bless.